Welcome. This is podcast number 12, and this time we're talking about culture, a subject that I think we all enjoy and are excited about. And we have a guest this month that's joining us, Omae, my eldest. Say hello, Omae.
Hi, everybody. Very excited to be on the pod today. Should be very, very good. Let's get into it.
So Omae won't be performing, and this is the performance section. We are missing one of our core members. Cynthonia is not on here today, but we're hoping that we can add her contribution into the edit. So, culture. We're going to start with the wonderful I Am Adriana T. Over to you.
Peace, love, and light, everybody. I felt like giving you guys a look into little I Am Adriana T with this piece, and this is Through the Sands of Time. Back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore, but some days I sit and wish I was a kid again. Elementary school, active book fest, and my kente cloth, purple and gold, about to walk off to join a group of drummers to a jam and a beat that made me feel special because the rhythm came from me. Not caring that my hands were getting sore from repetition, that feeling like a key to my heart's ignition. Ba-boom, bop, bop, ba-boom, bop, bop, boom, bop, ba-boom, bop, ba-boom, bop, bop. Amazed at my palms and how connected I was. Too young to know it yet, but that was my first buzz. And my first clue that I hear the music different. Every pattern, every drum hit. There began my addiction. Then my education as a weekly treat. Mom would take us to the library to look and read. In the 90s, you could check out VHS tapes. And Mom always chose to edutain. Get it? Edutain? You got it? Okay. But on this particular day, she went the serious way. Wouldn't let us see her choice until she wrangled us to watch, giving us the disclaimer to mind our hearts, absorb the history, learn the truth, but don't let the truth make your soul hateful. She pressed play on Roots by Alex Haley. I was hooked, especially when I heard it was based on the book every actor I admired. Cicely Tyson, Dr. Maya, Angelou LeVar Burton, and so many more. But as I kept watching, I was rocked to my core. Unable to believe what I saw on the screen. Although I only watched, I took it personally. We finished the whole thing in a matter of days, and for a little while after, I harbored some hate. Every white person I came across got a sideways look. Their presence pissed me off. Until I talked to Miss Bullock, my kindergarten teacher, who was white but very kind and understood my disagreements, agreeing that our history was cruel and egregious and pushing me to see that hate's what keeps us in pieces. Between Mom and her, I let that heaviness go, choosing to see people by their inner glow. I read and watched all I could before becoming distracted by trauma, drama, and a fuse like a matchstick. Despite my education being paused by me, through experiencing life, I was able to see Black beauty in cookouts, hair sessions, conversations, latchkey kid expressions, even church congregations. Every trip to museums, a cause for pause, reflection, acceptance, shock, and awe. Culture by way of all my senses, teaching that every part of life is deliberate. Half of these memories I hated growing up. Only to appreciate it all is what the point of reminiscing is designed to do, creating a map designed by you that anyone can visit if they dare to ride the machine of their creation through the sands of time.
Yeah, I felt that. I felt that because I remember watching Roots, and then due to the fact that I'm some years your elder or senior rather, I was learning things in history class that made it like, yo, they're telling this straight up. And then I'm watching it from the viewpoint of what Alex Haley, you know, so cleverly portrayed in the film, and it was quite something. So those words, they hit deep just now.
I appreciate that, bro, and I appreciate your perspective on it. You're not that much older than me. Hold up now. But I think no matter when you experience Roots, it still hits you the same way, because it, even for the time period, for anybody that doesn't know, it was originally done in the 70s. And I remember when my mom actually was telling us about it right before we watched, that she watched it in real time. Like when it was airing on TV, and it was a series, and it was like every Black person in the world was talking about this thing every night, you know, for 2 weeks' time. And it was just so powerful to me. And then the fact that she had the wherewithal to show us when we were really young, like I was like 8, and this was right before a lot of stuff I experienced in my life occurred, but it was important for me to have that knowledge. And my little brother was 6, you know what I mean? But it's important to educate the kids young, is what I'm getting at with this, like, especially when it comes to culture, because it helps you understand people more, which is why I'm really appreciative of Mom for saying, guard your hearts. Don't let this make you hateful, because this is a moment in time. It's not all people, and it shouldn't be assigned to them. You know what I mean? So, much peace, man.
That's the part that stood out to me the most, though. Beyond just having that shared experience of both of us seeing that film in our youth, is that your mom, you know, made a distinction for y'all. That's heavy.
Yeah. I think, you know, I've never watched Roots, although my elders have. But we grew up, it's never been off the conversation, talking about the fact that we are the descendants of enslaved people. That's just something that we've always known. And one of my uncles is a historian, so he's wrote books on it and things like that. So it was a topic of conversation always. So it's like I felt so much nostalgia listening to that piece. When you started with, back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. You know, all of us love that song. That is such, that song brings back like running around in the sunshine, and you know what I mean? Like that, it absolutely brings back that nostalgic feeling. And all the things that you said about going to the library, and those were all the same sort of things that we did as children. So that's interesting as well, is that, you know, what I always find fascinating about culture, and particularly the diaspora, is that we got spread all over the planet, but we still do the same things, just in different places, you know. I just think that's amazing when you really check it. So that was a beautiful piece. Loved it. Thank you, Adriana.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Omae?
The youngin'. How you doing, love?
She's never seen it.
Yeah, I was gonna say also, obviously, I've never watched Roots either, and I watched it. I think, as you said, it's different for you guys because like you're all around like the similar age like thing. So I still like back in the days. I'm still a child. I'm kind of like still in the bracket. But I like the part where you were talking about like how you had hate in your heart, because I feel like that's like kind of like the growth, because lots of people have that experience. Because it obviously makes sense that you'd see the way that your people were treated, and then you'd be like, well, of course I'm not gonna like you because you fit in with that. And I like the fact that obviously you overcame that, and it's kind of just like, yeah, like the generalization, that's kind of like the issues with some of the biggest issues in the world are caused from these mindsets where you're like, oh, one person who was a certain type of person who was white or was gay or like you say, stuff like that, and then suddenly all these people are that way, and you kind of generalized. So I like the fact that it was kind of highlighting that these people behave like this, but it doesn't mean that the people who are similar to them now are behaving the same way. So yeah, it was a really nice piece.
From the mouth of babes, ladies and gentlemen. That was awesome. And I appreciate you. Thank you very much for noticing that.
Truth. Yeah, I did cut that bit as well, which I thought was really good. About, you know, your teacher. Because that was another bit that I almost forgot that I related to. Because I had a teacher, which I think I kind of fell in love with when I was like 4, Mrs. Rowley. And I've wrote her into one of my stories. And she was like this older white woman. And she was just so lovely. And she, you know, when you look at an adult as a child and they just look, they're like angelic. Because all they do
so is right now. Yes, that's Miss Bullock. To this day, I love her. Yes.
Yeah. You know that they loved you and your colour didn't matter.
Yeah.
And to some extent, I think my colour probably made her love me a bit more, actually, because she knew I was on the outside. So you talking about Miss Bullock definitely took me to Mrs. Rowley in my head.
Very cool. Very, very, very cool.
All right, I'm going to do my piece and we're going to land with the wonderful I Am I. So my piece is called The Strongest, and it's got some parallels naturally, as every month we have these massive headers, but somehow we all tend to write similar things, which is deep. So mine is called The Strongest. Stolen, abused, raped, beat. No one, they said we are. Broken apart families. Enslaved, burnt into memories. DNA holds all kinds of keys, as we did all we could to survive. They never guessed that we'd thrive. Knew we're strong, know our intelligence. They were belligerent when we were not. Tortured as animals. Propaganda, cannibals. While our babies were fed to gators. Our men buck-braked on all fours. Us women raped as breeders. They sucked us dry, them feeders. As day turned to night, we whispered our pride, danced to a vibe created from air, sang out songs from the depths of despair, wove stories and maps into hair. Cornrow and cane rows carried seeds from back home. To this day we know things from time ago. To this day we create from an empty hole, full of soul, when connected to the greatest of all. Everything is magic, divine and whole. For we are the survivors, the strongest. You done know. That's The Strongest. Taken from the United Nations news website. On the 25th of March 2026, applause erupted in the UN General Assembly Hall on Wednesday as member states adopted a resolution declaring the transatlantic slave trade the gravest crime against humanity. The resolution, spearheaded by Ghana, received 123 votes in favour. 3 countries, Argentina, Israel and the United States, voted against, and 52 abstained. Today we come together in solemn solidarity to affirm truth and pursue a route to healing and reparative justice, said Ghana's President John Dramani Mahama, speaking ahead of the vote on behalf of the 54-member African Group, the largest regional bloc at the UN. For more than 400 years, millions of people were stolen from Africa put in shackles and shipped to the New World to toil in cotton fields and sugar and coffee plantations under scorching heat and the crack of the whip. Denied their basic humanity and even their own names, they were forced to endure generations of exploitation with repercussions that reverberate today, including persistent anti-black racism and discrimination. Please visit the website for the full article, and there's some beautiful links within the article. I'd like to highlight the Poet Laureate of Barbados, Esther Phillips, delivers a heart-wrenching piece of poetry that brings it all into perspective.
Yeah, you done know. I like how you landed there. Gotta land it with the culture, right? We're talking about culture, so yeah. And I see what you mean about the parallels from with your piece and Adriana's. You're talking about the roots, the struggle, the how we got to where we are now, and it's a lovely piece. I like it. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Powerful. The strongest is absolutely right. Wow. And the parallels. At this point, we don't need to even address them. We should just be like, pay attention, keep it.
No.
Specifically, man, the detail, because I think a lot of people, I think that goes over a lot of people's heads, especially younger people. The fact that we were used as instruments, the fact that we were disregarded, we were literally referred to as cattle. You know what I mean? Like babies were called foals. And that sort of heaviness is necessary, you know, despite it being hard to hear, you know, because it puts things in perspective, and it also puts a lot of things that are going on now. That's a completely different story, but I mean, things that are going on now all over the world into perspective, and why it's so important to flip the script, to heal, to do the mental health work, to do the epigenetic work, to continue to embrace the younger generation and their perspective so we can integrate all of those things. So you did a brilliant job, and I absolutely loved it.
Thanking you very much.
Sure.
Yeah, that was really good. I loved it. Yeah, I liked what you said about, like, as you said, how it's ancestral, how, like, it got me thinking that, like, yeah, everything that we've been through as a culture is still in us, and how, as you said, like black people in the diaspora, like, even though we have different experiences, like, now we had that shared collective experience, and as you said, there's the strength in that, because I think you have said that it was it Irish people, or there was a different culture that was enslaved first, and then they moved on to black people because we had that strength. And even as we talked about that, like the fact that we're still here as a culture, that we didn't, despite everything, because it didn't just obviously end with the slave trade, there was also like drugs being put into our communities and all those other things to break us up. Even to this day, there's the micro things in the media to make us divisive and to have these systems in place that could to destroy us as a culture. But we're still strong, and we still, as you said, have that ancestral knowledge that has been carried through, like the fact that, and it's just in our day-to-day things, like singing and being yourself, and really like being driven, and like those small things that are in our lives now that started from so long ago, that we've carried forward despite everything trying to kind of stop us being able to do that. So yeah, it was a really nice, beautiful piece, Bob. And yeah, as you said, the strongest.
Yeah, we were raised with that, man. Mom was, because there's so many of us at the bottom of that ocean. There's so many bloodlines destroyed, you know? So for us to be, it definitely was something that gave me confidence and power growing up, was knowing that we are here. Our bloodline continued, you know? It is the truth. We are the strongest. It's not just me saying it for the sake of it. It's the absolute truth. So, thank you for your contribution, Omae. Now we're moving on to the magnificent and talented I Am I.
Give thanks for that. Yes, thank you for that introduction. I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. Recognize it was written before the pen touched the pad, and when the pen touched the pad, it was written just as fast as a 5% of reciting today's math. Culture or freedom, culture or freedom, culture or freedom. Gotta free my dome from this state of hypnosis. Keep the Most High close, but just don't mistake me for being sanctimonious. There's still things I'm coping with, like causing harms to the ones I'm closest with. I do it for the culture, to let them know what a rapper look like when a rapper down bad. Weight on my shoulder like carrying 1,000,000 crates of dub plates heading to a sound clash. Sound boy, there's no need to worry, as long as you have culture or freedom, culture or freedom, culture or freedom. It's not a one or the other. See, culture is the sum total of a people's activities. Freedom to express culture as we see fit, for we in a culture where we're either overindulgent or stoic. I chose the way of the poet, so I do it for the culture. Blues culture, jazz culture, blazing hip-hop and R&B culture, reggae and soca and rock and roll originated from gospel and soul and country and western also. We claiming all that too. Peace. I'm done. Marching to the beat of the Nyabingi drum. Culture or freedom.
Yo, bro. You won. You won this one. Oh my goodness. Okay. Hip hop. First of all, hip hop. Second of all, to take the music route and really open it up. I appreciate you doing that, because no disrespect to any other culture, but we kind of originated a lot of this, man. We really did. And we open it up to people because we are a community and we love a concept of community. I love how that was conveyed as well. And just in general, your alliteration, good brother, solid. Thank you. I love that.
You're welcome.
You can't. Sorry. You can't pick it apart because it was one of them, just lyric pod. There was a lyric about stoic and poetic. I like that. I love the bit where you sang the Mary J, but you put your own little lyric on it. I love the bit at the end where it was really visual, the bit at the end when you're talking about dub plates and carrying, what did you say? Carrying your set.
Weight on my shoulder, like carrying 1,000,000 crates of dub plates headed to a sound clash.
Yeah. If you've been to a sound clash and everything there, you know, I can't say that I am like this. I'm not no super cultural person on any level in terms of like blackness or Jamaican or Bayesian, but I've dipped my toes in different things and done a lot of different things. And I felt like I saw you doing that. Felt like I was on the way to the club. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I used to carry crates of my brother's records into parties. When me and my brother that I make music with, Jaja Beats, we were just in our teenage years, and that's how we would get into the clubs, by carrying the crates of records when they still spun vinyl.
Was that for your older brother? Because you said
yeah, my eldest brother, he DJs, and he was doing it since vinyl was being spun in the parties. So yeah.
There's a book there, I Emmanuel. There feels like there's a whole book there. Sometimes when you talk about that part of your life, it sounds so interesting. I'd love to hear all the little miniature stories that are within it, because I'm sure there's many.
A lot of sub stories inside for sure.
Yeah. Omae?
Was banging. That was beautiful. That was really, really good. As Mom said, it was also I couldn't pick out as many things, but I loved the musical element. I loved, as you said, you mentioned all the genres of music and how I think you said rock and roll based on soul, something like about like that. And as you said, it's like we set the foundation of a lot of these things now that like other cultures regard as theirs. When you actually look behind the curtain, we set the foundation for it. And as you said, I love the variety of music that we have as a culture. As you said, like hip hop and jazz. It's like all of it is like our culture, but in so many different ways and so many different elements. And obviously music is one of those things that just brings people up. It lifts your energy, and that's why it's so powerful, the vibrations and like all that, like the sound of it. And like as one of the questions that we had before, I think it's just a similar question we have now, which is like what song like really gets you like going. And I mentioned in my promo that jazz has really been speaking to me lately. But yeah, no, it was really beautiful. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
And thank you for giving your input and feedback. It's much appreciated.
Yeah, and on that note, I would just wrap this up by saying that is the truth. It's not even we started everything. And unfortunately, there's so many people, I'm saying this very clearly, that just don't want to accept that. But if you dig and you look into the truth, you will find in every single circumstance that we did it first. So I love the fact it's acknowledged in your piece, Emmanuel, I Am I. And I think that culture is, you talk about culture, we have an education of what it is for over a few hundred years, when there's a whole eternity on this planet where things began. So yeah, that was wonderful, guys. So on that note, we're going to close the performance section and we will return with our podcast discussion.